Are we going?
Yes. Do I have to formally tell you? I'm going to press
I want
the
a
record
countdown.
button.
I want you to give me 5 fingers up, and then 4, and then 3, and then the 2 and the 1 you don't say. I learned that from Wayne's World. And then I'll be right on. You just tell me which camera's mine, and I'm ready to go.
Okay, you ready? You want to do that?
Yeah.
Ready? 5, 4. You got to look at me. 3.
That's unprofessional. You gave me the middle finger, folks. You like that joke on a podcast? Next, we're going to do shadow puppets.
I mean, visual comedy's my thing. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, that's why you're the best podcaster around.
I make visual jokes.
Speaking of visual jokes, why aren't you wearing a shirt?
Because it's like 100 degrees outside.
Why are we outside?
Because I've only been up for about 20 minutes and I don't want to stay in the house.
Do you hear that helicopter?
I don't know what they hear.
I was asking you if you hear it. I'm sure
No.
they hear it. I'm sure they hear that.
No, I don't know what they hear.
They hear
right now.
everything. They hear the wind.
See, but again, this is experimental.
Listen, Ernie Kovacs, this is a nightmare. It's hot outside. You're not wearing a shirt. Why do you shave your chest but not your hair? Your leg hair. You've got hairy legs, hairy arms, but then like stubbly chest. It's a weird look.
Oh, the hair on the chest, because I have the weird neck beard going right now because I haven't shaved.
Yeah.
So it connects like a blanket of just hair. So I have to differentiate.
So shave your neck beard.
I have to get around to it. I want to go to the barber shop
Well,
and they do the
apparently you
nice
get around
thing.
to shaving your chest.
Well, there's a big difference, though. I don't want to shave the facial hair. I want to go to a barber shop and let them do it with the proper equipment. I can just
what
buzz
proper?
this.
What do you think it is? It's not that hard to do.
See, I think you have
Trust
to...
your face. Trust yourself.
You know, I like the straight edge razor and the cream and the towel on the face. I like to be pampered when I go to my barber shop. And I trust them.
Does it have a pole outside with the red and white?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So it's like a ye old barbershop?
And they're all young kids. They
Oh,
know
yeah?
how to cut hair. They know what it's like to be groomed. They understand what it's like to be a gentleman. I think I'm pretty well groomed. Look, my nails are nice and short.
But you look like you're wearing like a sweater that's only on your forearms. Like even your shoulders aren't that
I'm not a hairy guy. Look.
No, but you are. Your legs and forearms are hairy.
Yeah, but if you look, I have no back hair.
It looks like you shave your back hair.
But I don't, though.
I don't think I believe you.
I don't shave my back.
I see some hair. So there's some random hair. I see some stubbly shit.
Where do you see stubbly shit?
There's stuff going on.
On my back?
Yeah.
There's nothing on my back. There's like one patch.
I see like a spot you should have looked at.
Where?
In the middle of your back, like on your spine. There's like a red.
Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a mole. Have you had that looked at?
No. I should.
You should get that looked at.
Thank you for planting the seed of paranoia in my head.
Well, last year I went to a skin doctor because I had like a weird just like discoloration on top of my head because I have a bald head. And as I was waiting in the waiting room for my appointment, I was literally making a will in my head of what's going to happen when I die from the cancer I'm about to be diagnosed with.
What would I get?
You got some toys. A lot of my friends got some toys.
Okay, cool.
That's all I really have to give.
You have nothing else.
I've got nothing else
There's
to
no
value.
money. There's no money to be had.
There's no estate.
It's not like when in Dallas when Jock Ewing had his lawyers read his will and JR and Barbie got controlling factors of Ewing Oil.
Serious question, though.
Yeah.
Who did shoot JR?
I don't know.
Was it Patrick Duffy?
America's Sweetheart? No.
Wasn't he on that show?
Yeah,
and
he
then, like,
was.
he died and came back
He
or
died
something?
and came back. Season 8, he died. And Season 9, he came back.
They just reconned a whole season?
He was just that popular. Duffy had a great career. He went from Dallas from 78 and then went right to Step by Step after Dallas ended in 91. And then Step by Step was on until, 99?
But then what? What's he been up to?
He could retire after that. That's like 40 years on television.
You think
Not really, but
yeah.
it's like almost 30
but you
years
think
on
he'd
TV.
want to be doing stuff?
Well, I think he's probably like everybody else that is in the twilight of their acting career. They all do those Lifetime Hallmark Christmas movies.
Well, don't you watch those?
No, my brother does.
Oh, all right.
Do you want me to Google what Patrick Duffy's been up to?
I'd like to know what he's up to.
Let's see what Pat Duffy's been up to.
Step by step, day by day.
That was
I know
a great
what Cody's
show.
up to.
What is he doing?
He's like living in a fucking van.
Living the dream, bro.
Didn't he like get kicked off the show for like weird behavior or something? There's something weird about that guy.
Christmas with a View.
Yeah, you called it. It's a remake of Rear Window, but at Christmas.
And then in 2017, he starred in The Christmas Cure.
So he does a lot of movie with Alicia Witt, probably, because she's in all those.
Love Takes Wing. That's another one he's done. Party Down.
Well, this is Pop Culture Man Children.
The Bold and the Beautiful. He was a series regular for 165 episodes. Yo, Pat Duffy worked, dude.
He did. He put in some work.
He's had a consistent run. I fuck with Pat Duffy, man.
In front of me, my co-host Emilio Sparks is reading Patrick Duffy's IMDb page. I'm Mr. Mike Bongiorno. Welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Man Children. We're recording outside because Emilio doesn't want to put a shirt on.
I figured we just switch it up a little bit. Normally, we're either in the Dungeon of Cool or the Den of Iniquity, my bedroom.
But that's what I like. I like dungeons. I like dark places. I like under a bridge. I like in trunks. I don't like the outside world. I'm very curmudgeonly.
Listen,
I don't go to the beach.
I don't blame you on that stuff. But, you know, as of late, I've been doing most of my work out here just because I need some sun. You know, I've only also been up for 2 hours.
So the listener might go, oh, he's been up for 2 hours. They must be recording this at maybe 10 a.m. No, it's like 6 p.m.
Yeah. I needed the sun to kiss my face.
You're living a vampire lifestyle, so you need that sun to sort of reset your circadian. No, that doesn't sound right.
Yes, circadian rhythm. Somebody will correct us.
Twitter at Emilio Sparks or Instagram at Pop Culture Man Children. Hashtag Pop Culture Man Children.
Let's go to the news.
I was thinking we should change the name of the news segment to "What the fuck are they rebooting now?" Because that tends to be what every news segment is. Okay, so what the fuck are we rebooting now? RoboCop again. I love this new world where they don't even, like, if it doesn't go, they just go, fuck it, we'll do it again. Like, we're not even going to give it a minute to rest. We tried it 2 years ago, didn't work. Fuck it, let's try it again.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. This time it's being done by Neil...
Gaiman?
No, Neil Gaiman, as far as I understand, has never directed anything.
He should.
He wrote my favorite episode ever of Doctor Who, the one where the TARDIS talks. No, it's being directed by Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9 and Elysium. And Chappie, which I like Chappie. And I like District 9, too. That's a better choice, because the original RoboCop is Paul Verhoeven, who did Turkish Delight, and he did Starship Troopers, and he's very satirical. And the original RoboCop is very satirical, whereas the reboot they just did, the one with Michael Keaton, like, made it just an action movie. It cut all of, like, the intelligence out of it. It kind of was, the remake kind of was the thing that the original was making fun of. So now that you've got Blomkamp on board, hopefully the new one will be satirical again. Hopefully it'll be smart. I hate when they remake smart movies dumbly.
You know, the only thing that I liked about the remake, I guess that's what we're going to call it, the first remake.
Yeah, the reboot.
The reboot was the actual look of the RoboCop itself.
Yeah, I like that. But still, I like the original, and I love Peter Weller.
Well, it's because it's the original, it's the OG. But my question is this. Can't they just have Weller come back? He's a cyborg.
I would love him to come back. I would love for him to come back.
Give him one more run.
Did you ever see the Dark Knight Returns animated film where Peter Weller voices Batman?
No.
It's fucking as good as you're imagining it.
Yeah?
He's perfect as Batman.
He's got a great voice.
He, is a robot. It's like when they made RoboCop, they were like, let's find a guy who's actually a robot.
It's gravelly.
He's also one of these guys, similar to Dolph Lundgren, is like a genius, but like also decided to be an actor. Like Dolph Lundgren doesn't have a PhD in chemistry or something like that.
Yeah.
Peter Weller, I think, has a PhD in like Italian art or something. He speaks a bunch of languages. One of the best death scenes ever, though, when in the beginning Peter Weller gets just fucking shot up like crazy. It's so disgusting.
They shoot him in the balls. They shoot him in everything.
They like shoot shit off of him. And then Red, the dad from That 70s Show, is the villain.
All right, so here's what I envision for RoboCop, the reboot. The new one?
The new? The one that's not out yet?
Give us a RoboCop family. Mama RoboCop, Papa RoboCop, Baby RoboCop, Sissy RoboCop, and all they do is just go and...
What about a dog? You want a robo dog?
Yeah, yeah. And let them
You know
just
what you'd
fight
like?
crime as a family.
There's actually something out there just like that you'd like. Read the new Marvel Vision comic. It's about the Vision, and he's got a wife and kids, but they're also Visions. But they're like trying to like be in the neighborhood and like be normal people, but they're Visions.
See, listen, you failed being a drama. After RoboCop 1, it kind of shits the bed, the original. So then why
I don't even think
you...
I saw 2 or 3.
Exactly, you don't need to. So let's do it this way now. Make it a modern family comedy.
That's a real reboot.
They're trying to go to the store.
Yeah. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
And then that's what he says when he wants sweet potatoes.
I was thinking that's what he says when he takes the dog for a walk. No, the best is the bad guy when he goes, "Bitches leave!" And they're all having a big cocaine party. Oh, man.
How skeevy did they make cocaine look?
Really? I was going to say they made it look so enticing.
So? Okay. All right. I can see that.
They made it look like a fun time. Cocaine in 80s movies always just look like a great old fun time.
Yeah. And then in reality, you realize, ooh, no.
I've never done cocaine.
Neither have I.
My fear would be that I'd love it, so I'll never try it.
You'd start hawking your toys just
Yeah,
for some bags of blow.
Hey, I got a 77 Darth Vader. No, he doesn't have the vinyl cape, but those are easy to find. Come on, help, put it on the arm for me. Put it on the arm for me.
So, will the actor who played RoboCop in the new reboot also be the one and the
Who was that? I don't
new
even remember
reboot?
who that was. I don't know.
Do you feel like they would play up the idea of AI with it as well, or would he just be a killing machine? Because if you think about it, RoboCop actually played with the idea of artificial intelligence
Yeah, absolutely.
real early on before anybody else really caught on with that wave.
At least in movies. I mean, like in sci-fi literature, you always had that going on. But it was a smart movie. It's a smarter movie than people give it credit for. And the director, the original director and creator, Verhoeven, said that for him it was a Christ story. Because there's even a scene where RoboCop walks on water. Do you remember that?
No.
There's a scene in the end where he's like, they're fighting in like this, like, it's like a warehouse. That's probably every scene. And he like walks on water. So this could be good.
How could a machine walk on water?
Because he's Christ. Don't you get it? He's the Christ of the digital age.
So he's Robo-Christ.
He's Robo-Christ.
So then
he died. Officer Murphy died and rose again.
So then why don't we do that then? Why don't we just do Robo-Christ?
I mean, it don't have to be on the nose. We already have a scene where I'm walking on water, for Christ's sakes.
No, but see, I could see something like that being done for those Christian channels where the real big money is made in movies and television.
But isn't that blaspheming?
No, I mean, you could have Kirk Cameron star in it or Buddy Lembeck.
I feel like he'd be Buddy Lembeck. Isn't he a Christian superhero?
Yeah, he was Bible Man.
Bible Man.
So they could have all that. So let them do that.
They should start a Bible Man cinematic universe. Shove the new RoboCop into the next Bible Man vehicle. What else is going on? What the fuck are they rebooting now? Joaquin Phoenix is going to be in a standalone Joker movie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was going to do Walk the Line too.
So
let me get this straight. Joaquin Phoenix is going to play the Joker.
Yes.
So my guy...
Yeah. No, your guy's cool.
He's in or he's out?
No, your guy's in, but this standalone... Look, after Batman vs. Superman shit the bed, they were like, all right, the Zack Snyderverse can still exist, but we're not putting all our eggs in that basket. Wonder Woman 84 or 85...
84.
Wonder Woman 84 is coming out. That's in the Snyderverse. There's probably going to be that Batman movie. I don't know if Affleck's in it or not, but definitely Harley Quinn's in it. Harley Quinn's also in the Birds of Prey movie, and your guy Jared Leto is cool there. It's still by DC, but it's not in that universe. It's its own thing.
So we're going to have two Jokers simultaneously.
I mean, yeah, unless you count like the animated shit on TV.
No,
I mean, there's like 9
I'm
Jokers.
talking about movies. So we're gonna have Joaquin, and we're gonna have Jared. Now, do they ever cross over in a weird parallel universe, and we get
Probably
a
not.
Joker off?
No. Do you?
Because you see, that's my thing. Like, you have Jared Leto's Joker, and it's still an undefined Joker. He still really hasn't played to the potential that I feel he could.
Well, I think he'll probably be in that Batman movie
Yeah, but who?
if that ever gets made.
All right, so then who plays Batman in the Joaquin Joker vehicle?
I don't know if Batman's in it. I think it might just be the story of him becoming the Joker, a gangster. They'll probably go with like the Jack Napier storyline where he's a gangster. And
Oh, he's not a failed comedian?
I prefer the stories where you don't know who he really is, but if you're going to make a movie about him, you can't do that.
Here's the problem. Heath Ledger had to go and die,
He was the best.
so he kind of put a monkey wrench in plans moving forward, because I honestly believe that they probably would have used him for future Jokers in several
I don't know,
movies.
because I think the standout there was Nolan and Bale, because they offered both of them a lot of money. Christian Bale was like, I'm done if Nolan's not doing it. And Nolan was like, I'll put my name on Man of Steel, but I'm really done with all this. He would have definitely been in The Dark Knight Rises, though. But I don't think he would have kept going as the Joker. I don't know, man. And I forgot to tell you, this new movie is directed by Todd Phillips, the director of Old School and School for Scoundrels, a comedy director, basically. So
DC
it's
just keeps on getting it wrong.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. It could go right in some ways, and it could go wrong in some ways.
So is he...
To quote Doctor Strange, I see 3 million ways in which this could go wrong. How many can go right? One.
I don't know, man. I want my Leto to shine.
Forget how bad the movie will probably be. What do you think about Joaquin as the Joker?
I think he's a fantastic actor.
He is a great actor.
So I think he can pull anything off. The last thing I actually seen him in, or I paid attention to, he starred in Inherent Vice.
I did not get that movie. That movie was too smart for me. And I've seen movies from every country area. I have a master's. I teach film. I was like, I do not know what the fuck's going on in this movie. This is way too complicated for me.
I think that's the problem. I just think it's...
He was good in it.
Yeah. But see, that just shows his range and his versatility.
He is good. What was that movie from a couple years ago where he was like a drug addict, drug dealer, and his father and brother were both cops, and he had to like go undercover in the underworld? And...
Mark Wahlberg was his brother. Yeah, I know exactly
that
what
was
you're
a good
talking about.
movie.
We Own the Night.
We own the night.
See,
Jack.
My thing is this, and this is what I get nervous about when these really good actors come in. They try to play the character with something that it's not. They try to make it overly dastardly and sinister.
Well, that's the hard thing. It's like you're like the 5th Joker in like the last 10 years. Like, what do you do now? Like, we just had Jared Leto. Like,
Which was fine.
You know, it's almost like when somebody plays a new Doctor Who. It's a difficult job because it's like I've got to be Doctor Who and be recognizable as the character, but I also have to be my own Doctor Who. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an actor, but I don't know how I would be the Joker differently.
See, Leto was, I think, the perfect turn from Heath Ledger's Joker.
Because he was an Ed Hardy Joker?
Because you couldn't follow that up. Listen, there's some really big shoes to fill when the guy who played the character wins an Academy Award and passes away.
Yeah. Who wants to touch that?
You can't do the same speech pattern.
Leto did.
You can't have the same,
I think
marks.
people's problem with him the most
It was just that,
the way he looked was very different.
which is fine.
He was like a scene kid Joker.
Which is fine. You can't have the same look as...
No, you can't.
What do you want him to look like? Cesar Romero? Or
Oh, my
do you
God.
want
I
him
would
to-
love something like
Or
that.
do you want him to look like Heath Ledger's Joker with the same facial scarring?
I like the Ledger Joker. I don't know. I feel like Joaquin Phoenix will probably be more like Heath Ledger than Jared Leto because Joaquin has that sort of serious sweatiness. You could see him being like a sweaty, like anxious Joker. He can actually be great at it.
Now, where do you rank Joker performances?
This could be its own mini, but
Nicholson, Romero, Ledger, are those the top three?
they all fit the aesthetic of their... You know what I mean? Like, Romero's perfect for Batman 66 because that show was crazy. Maybe it's between...
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about Hamill. Hamill's so good. And he's done it in a lot of different ways, like video games. You know, I'm just going to say Hamill, just for the fuck of it.
I think it has to be Hamill.
When I hear the Joker's voice in my head, I think of Hamill.
I don't even consider Jack Nicholson's performance anytime I think of the Joker.
I mean, it's good.
I
like
think
his
at the time
performance.
for when that movie came out, he was one of the biggest movie stars on the planet.
And it was such a unimportant role in that time in our culture. People I can't believe he's playing that.
He did a fantastic job.
He did, because he was scary and funny and weird and overly sexual. He was very creepy, molesty Joker.
Yeah.
I feel like he's licking people.
But I don't think his Joker is a standout. So if I had to do top 3, he would be number 3. I don't think his stands out to the point where it's supposed to be the greatest Joker of all time. I think you have Hamill and Ledger really at the top spot. And I would say that Romero would go number 2, and then Nicholson would go number 3, because Romero, everybody uses the Romero
laugh.
Exactly.
Romero, when I think of the laugh, I think of Romero's laugh. What else is happening? The comic book Y the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan, it has been in production hell for years because they were going to make a movie, and then Rod Howard was going to make a movie, and then J.J. Abrams was going to make a movie, and now it's finally happening.
You have to explain to me what Y the Last Man is, because I don't know what it is. I've never read the book. I've always seen the book, but I've never read the book.
It's by Brian K. Vaughan. It's about a world where one day all the men in the world die, and there's nothing left but women, except for one guy, Yorick Brown. And he's this sort of beta male, kind of jokey, funny guy. He's an escape artist. He has a pet monkey. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic thing, but it's got a lot of philosophy in it, and it answers the question, what would happen if there was only one sex? There's just women and this one man, and everyone's also trying to kill him because some people want to kill him, some people want to kidnap him and clone him, and so there's a lot of crazy shit. It's got a lot of action. It's very cool. It's Brian K. Vaughan. He did Runaways. He did Paper Girls. It's not becoming a movie, though. It's becoming a TV show on FX. And they've already started casting it, which is a good sign because it means it's actually happening. Diane Lane is being cast as Yorick's mother. Diane Lane looks like the biggest name so far. I need to reread it. It's been years since I read it.
I'm sold. I have to read this now.
Yeah, you'd like it. So let's look at some trailers. Netflix is making 80s style YA movies now, which is fascinating to me. Netflix dropped a trailer for a movie called Sierra Burgess is a Loser, starring Shannon Purser. Shannon Purser is Barb from Stranger Things. It's like Barb the movie. America had Barb fever, and Netflix was like, let's give Barb a movie.
Yeah, but it's not Barb.
But she's kind of like a nerdy girl who...
She plays the role well.
She plays a kind of Barbish character.
Now, is this based off any source material, or is this
Not
just...
that I know of.
Okay,
Although
so...
they say that it's a updated version of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Okay, because you're the YA king. I go to you for all things YA.
Yes, I am wearing a crown right now.
So I thought it was probably some book that you fell in love with.
No, if it is, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
But the idea is kind of like Cyrano. And she inadvertently starts catfishing someone she doesn't mean to, and he thinks she's the popular girl at school.
But she's not.
But she's not. But then she helps the popular girl out by helping her study with her tests. So the popular girl goes along with being her face while she's still the voice. And
there's some things that can never change, like that whole structure of high school.
Yeah.
And the hierarchy of how you're ranked in high school, to me, will always be excellent in movies.
Right. Well, that's
that goes
the thing.
back to, and when I looked at the trailer, it gave me John Hughes
absolutely
film vibes.
Because all of those high school movies from the 80s are about a caste system where there's there's the nerds, and then there's the jocks, and then there's the prissy girls, and then there's the the this, and exactly. And by the way, you've never read Eleanor and Park, but if you've read Eleanor and Park, listeners, wouldn't Shannon Purser be the perfect person to play Eleanor?
Look, we know that you love the book. You mention it almost every episode.
Not true at all.
One day it'll happen. Just give it a break.
One day at a time.
Give it a rest. It'll happen.
Tell me about YA. I'll tell you about YA. It looks cute.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sure at the end she'll be like, "It was me you were talking to. It was me you were in love with."
Yeah, that's what
and
happened.
he'll be like, "It is you that I'm in love with."
Or if they do it in real life, Neve and Max show up, do this.
Those creeps.
Those creeps. Exploit people's feelings.
Make the movie completely dated so no one could ever watch it in 10 years' time.
Done. See you later.
Is Catfish still on?
Yeah. It gives me so much anxiety, that show, you have no idea.
The movie was really
It makes you feel like you really can't trust anybody, especially when it's online dating.
You can't. You can't. What else is coming out? Oh, Extinction. That's another
Netflix original
Netflix movie with Michael Pena. What do you think?
I mean, I get it. It looks cool, but the story's not really going to grab me.
Shrug.
Right?
It's
Right?
aliens. He dreams of aliens landing, and the aliens land, and they're gonna kill us. I like him as a good actor. He's funny in Ant-Man. He was really good dramatically in
Like, I feel like
Grace
that's
Point.
I feel like that's a concept that's been done to death.
Yeah, it's not one but it's funny because online people are like, this trailer looks so cool. So I was like, okay, and like even the design for the aliens didn't look that cool to me. I was like,
It's amazing what they can get right, and then it's amazing what they can get wrong. Like, this goes into the blight category.
yeah. Yeah, but Netflix apparently is printing their own money at this point, so I guess they could just greenlight everything.
I think they can take risks on things and be like, okay, that didn't work, but we'll do this next.
Yeah.
Which I think is good for them.
Yeah.
Because they're moving away from the system of, we need your content. No. We're going to create our own content.
Right. We're our own movie studio / network.
Even if we buy the
Altogether.
rights to something that originally existed, and I'll talk about it, in either segment 2 or 3, Glow. We'll just redo it.
Yeah.
We'll put our own money
Right,
into
none
it.
of the wrestlers in the Glow series are who the real Glow characters were.
Completely different.
The last trailer I looked at was Goosebumps 2.
It's right up your alley, pal.
I liked Goosebumps 1. I thought it was going to be stupid, and I was like, whatever. And Jack Black was charming in it. It was good enough, but the new one doesn't even have Jack Black. It looks like...
That's good.
It looks really, like, shitty.
I'm good on Jack Black.
It's got the chubby kid from It in it. I guess that's their star power.
That's their Jack Black.
It's all about the Night of the Living Dummy.
Could you base a whole movie on that, though?
I guess. It looks just like the first movie, but more dummy and less good actors. I don't know. It kind of looks like a made-for Hallmark family Halloween movie,
Okay.
but I think it's a theatrical release.
Not into these things. I never even read Goosebumps as a kid.
I never read Goosebumps as a kid either. I liked the Fox 5 show. Do you remember that?
No.
You got to play in the break the theme song to the Fox 5 Goosebumps show.
Okay. I was never into that. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Why, were you scared? You were scared?
I was never a child that was into horror.
I think you were scared, maybe.
Most likely, probably.
I loved horror, even though it scared me. I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark. Are You Afraid of the Dark was way scarier than Goosebumps. Goosebumps, no one ever dies because they're like little kids' books. People are in peril, but that's it. People would die and shit in Are You Afraid of the Dark.
I mean, I was the Secret World of Alex Mack kind of guy.
Oh, me too. She morphed like Capri Suns.
Yeah, I was a Gullah Gullah Island
Sure.
type of dude.
Gullah Gullah Island.
I
Eureka's
wasn't-
Castle.
Yeah, Eureka's Cake.
Eureka!
Which is funny because guess who the show... I don't want to say he was the runner, but I know he wrote and produced a lot of it.
Who?
R.L. Stein.
Eureka's Castle?
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yep.
Now that you say it, I feel like you could see it. You know who else? You know who played, not Eureka, but the big purple, dragon?
Who?
Peter Weller. Eureka. There is a picnic in the garden. We should go and commence our tea drinking.
Let's take a break.
Remember that bat? All right, let's take a break.
And we are back. This is Pop Culture Man Children, PC to the MC. My name is Emilio Sparks. Over there is Mikey B. You're waving.
Yeah.
Look at you. See, you're getting the physical comedy that I do on this program. For more information on who we are and what we do, we have an Instagram page.
We do.
Go there. Hit the follow. Maybe one day we'll do one of those Instagram, AMA, Reddit things. Where we answer your questions.
I would also love if you put up on your Instagram your current obsession and tag it Pop Culture Man Children #obsessions.
I would like that.
Double tag that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I want to know what you guys are obsessed with.
I think we have to use our personal Facebooks more to really pump out the PCMC brand.
Since I run the PCMC Instagram, it's a link to my Facebook. That's a fun story I just told.
Yeah. But listen,
I'm a show business professional.
there's many ways that you can stream this program. Google Play,
Yes.
Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes.
Are we on the VTech?
We're on everything, Daddy.
The frog thing? What was that?
We're on Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, can you imagine Teddy Ruxpin? If we could somehow get our podcast onto a cassette tape, we could easily have our words come through Teddy Ruxpin.
Did you ever have a Teddy Ruxpin? I had a knockoff,
Yes.
which was Big Bird talking.
I had that one too!
Okay.
Fuck, we both had that.
Yeah.
Did you break his beak by trying to feed him?
No.
I broke my Big Bird's beak.
No.
He
You
couldn't
would
really
lift the
talk that
tail,
well.
And
Yes.
then the cassette player would be underneath the tail.
Yeah.
That's a big bird, too. Like, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a big toy.
So this is a chill sesh. We're chilling, although it's quite warm out here.
I'm rather comfortable.
Well, it's because you're not wearing a shirt.
Why don't you take yours off?
That's weird.
Why?
I haven't been in the pool. Chill sesh, what have you been doing?
What have I been chilling with?
What have you been chilling with?
Okay, so I don't know. It's a toss-up between, is this an obsession or is it a watch?
That's a question to ask your own heart. I can't help you with that.
I've been watching
Yeah.
Glow.
I have not watched any of season 2, but I loved season 1.
Season 2 is really good.
Is it
Yeah.
better than season 1?
It's different. The characters, I think they understand who they are now, and they dive more into their personalities more than the first one.
I love what's her face. Can't think of her name. Main person, she's fantastic.
Allison Brie?
Yes, she's great.
Zoya the Destroyer!
Yeah, she's great.
She's great. She's cute in it, too. Very adorable.
You know who else is cute? Mark Maron.
The growth of this character, hands down, the quickest turnaround I've ever seen.
Does he connect with that girl who's his daughter?
Yeah, they get really close.
That's cool.
Annabella Sciorra guest stars in an episode.
Really?
Yeah. She plays the baby moms.
How did it end? Did it end on a cliffhanger?
Do we give it away or do we
No, you don't
not
have to give it away, but just give me an idea of like how the whole thing wrapped up.
It definitely puts a little bow on the location that they're in now. And somehow, I won't say how, but the show is going to, in season 3, uproot to Las Vegas.
Oh, how long you think they can do Glow? Because the real Glow only lasted like 3 years or something. It was a sort of short ride.
I think it can go at least 5. 5 is good for any show. Specifically on Netflix when you're only doing 10 episodes each.
Well, you've got like what? We're up to like 9 of Orange is the New Black, and I stepped out after season 3 because I was just like, it's the same shit over and
I've
over
never
and
seen
over.
it, so I can't say.
The first couple seasons were great, but then it was just like, I couldn't do it anymore. I get sick of shit, except for like Doctor Who. But Doctor Who gives you like 2 years off in between seasons and like changes shit.
So that means you can never binge watch Dallas or Knots Landing because they're like 14 seasons each.
No, that's the kind of thing. Something that I've wanted to binge watch because people who know my taste say, oh my God, you'd love this, is Supernatural. But there's like 49 seasons of Supernatural, and it's like I don't have that time in my life to do that. I've got to get up early and play Dr. Mario for 6 hours.
Yeah. So that's what I'm watching, and I like it, man. And essentially Mark Maron as an actor, it's just him playing him.
Sure.
He's angry.
Just in this scene, you're frustrated.
Exactly. Just be frustrated. You know, drop a couple of F-bombs. Just be Mark Maron.
Ah, come on!
Exactly.
Just be you, but like you who never got the success.
Yeah, exactly. You
And
know?
in the 80s.
Yeah. Channel that to about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just give us you 5 years ago.
Yeah, give us like angry you.
But I will say this. I would hope his character and Allison Brie's character date.
You want that?
Yes. They were cute together. In some of the scenes that they share, you can tell that he is definitely attracted to her.
Well, they definitely, just from seeing season 1, they definitely have a connection, like they're kind of in it together. But I don't know if I'd feel good about them that way. But I don't know, I haven't seen season 2 yet, so maybe there's a lot of growth
you would watch
there.
it and be like, okay, they're kind of adorbs.
In real life, she's with Dave Franco.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's a beautiful couple.
They are a beautiful couple. Who's your favorite Glow girl? Of the wrestling personas, which is your favorite Glow wrestler?
I think it has to be Welfare Queen.
Yeah.
Because Welfare Queen, a.k.a. Kia Stevens, is a former professional wrestler.
Is she really?
Yeah, she used to wrestle as Awesome Kong on the Indies, and then she was Karma in the WWE.
Okay.
And she is fantastic. There was a great episode which features her, and you get to know her character more, where she has an adult son just starting Stanford.
He's embarrassed that his mom is
Yes!
a racist stereotype.
Yes, it's so good. It's such a great episode. She's really funny.
There's just 10 of them?
Yeah.
I should do it. I should do it this weekend. I should just do it. I'm up to level 15 on Dr. Mario. I can take a break.
Take a little pause.
My thumbs hurt.
Watch a little Glow. The music is great in it, and they kind of deal with AIDS in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, Bash Howard's butler or friend who was living with him named Florian kind of disappears.
Okay.
But you never see Florian in season 2. It's just that you know he exists in season 1.
Yeah.
But you don't see him in season 2, and he goes off and he disappears, and towards the end of the season, Bash Howard gets a phone call on his cell phone because, the big Zach Morris looking ones. And it's a hospital, and they say, listen, you're Florian's, in case of emergency contact. And it was a hospital in San Francisco, and they say he passed away. And so he couldn't process that. He's like, well, wait a minute, what did he pass away from? And she goes, officially, pneumonia.
Okay. So that's...
And then
that's
they
what
talked
did.
about how they couldn't send him the body and all
Yeah,
this.
that's
And
what
then there was a
happened.
scene where he's freaking out at his house, and he has a cleaning crew come in, which I thought was really, really in poor taste of the character, because I thought
But
he
at
was...
that time, people knew nothing. You know what I mean? People, had no fucking idea.
So the guy comes, so the cleaning crew comes in, and he makes it a point, the character, Bash Howard, disinfect the entire house.
Yeah.
And then the cleaning crew guys, you're not the first person that we've had to do this for.
Fuck the 80s, man.
So I guess the 80s is saying that it was this
Yeah.
whole uncharted territory kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. They didn't know...
That was what I found off-putting.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a big professional wrestling guy, but this
No, really?
really has nothing to do with professional wrestling.
Well, no.
Like, that's secondary.
Well, it's loosely based on something called Glow, where there are some of the personas in the real Glow are similar to some of the personas in the fictional Glow, but not really in name, and the actual people aren't there. And there were 2 or 3 guys that were kind of like the Mark Maron character. It's sort of inspired by something real.
I get a... Well, it's more, I think, more about them wrestling with the idea that they have this thing that could be successful. Some of them come from different walks of life, and Alison Brie's character, I think, she would always have a complex when it came to men, and she would choose the wrong men.
Yeah.
Even when she had sex with, Liberty Bell's husband because they were friends.
Yeah, but you know what? I felt like Liberty Bell was so hard on her. And when it was the fucking husband who was the scumbag.
Well, they talk about that at the end of season 2. And I'm really trying not to give it away because I don't want to do that.
You could always say spoiler alert.
Yeah, but no, I feel like that's always our go-to. But
Yeah.
there's a discussion and there is an argument. And you could tell that she didn't really give a fuck about her husband to a certain degree, but you could tell that she settled in certain aspects because maybe she didn't want to be alone. And I think that's the overall theme this season is being alone and emptiness in these people's lives. You could definitely see it in Mark Maron's character.
Yeah.
You could definitely see it in Alison Brie's character to a certain degree. There's a loneliness. I think it's them trying to address their loneliness.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm seeing more into it.
No, that's good. Good reading.
But that's what it feels like.
Okay. No spoilers. This is a no spoiler zone, guys.
Yeah, nah, man. I'm not trying to do the spoilers for this. I mean, once it's watched, specifically with you, then we can come on and review it.
Okay.
Give it a proper review. You should watch it, definitely.
All right.
Enough glow. What the fan wants to know. What I want to know. What the world wants to know.
Yeah.
But specifically, America wants to know. How is your war with the BBC going? You fired the first shot last episode.
Well, I'd say that they fired the first shot. It's going great. Anyway, what else is going on?
That's it? There's no, like, you're not boycotting? You're not writing think pieces on Medium?
What are you asking me?
Don't be afraid now that you think they're going to come after you.
All right, so here's what happened. Online, they started the pre-orders for the new Doctor Who merchandise. I pre-ordered the new 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker doll. I imagine some of that money's going to go to the BBC. But besides that...
Oh, so you sold out because you wanted to buy a toy.
First of all, it is...
Just be honest.
It's a collectible memorabilia. It's the inaugural toy. You know, it'll
but you're
be...
toting the rah-rah about fuck the BBC, fuck the BBC.
Well, I'm sure the toy company gets a good deal.
But then you're all like, ooh, I got to go buy the toy.
What are you saying? What do you want to say to me? I feel like you want to say something to me.
You're a sellout. I think you caved because your addiction to Doctor Who, it's been a constant in your life. You're a Whovian.
We, Americans, we lost the Battle of Long Island. But who won the Revolutionary War?
Okay, we did.
I lost the battle. I haven't lost the war.
You could have boycotted the product.
I'm sure the majority of that money goes to the toy company. Maybe a little taste goes to Jodie Whittaker, I hope. And then maybe a small little pittance goes to the BBC, the British Broadcasting
I think you should just admit that you had a small lapse of judgment. You were weak. You smelt the new plastic smell. You wanted a Jodie Whittaker figure.
I do.
So you were like, you know what? I'm going to go against my principles and my morals, and I'm going to give the BBC my hard-earned money when they disrespected me in my house.
They did disrespect me, but I've got a plan. See, I put a picture of the sonic screwdriver up, and then they took it down saying I've infringed on their copyright. But the Jodie Whittaker figure, see, that figure comes with a sonic screwdriver, and that shit's my property. So when I get the Jodie Whittaker doll, I'm going to put the sonic screwdriver in her hand and put that on the Pop Culture Man Show on Instagram and show them who's boss. Why don't we have a serious conversation about why this company has made action figures for all the other doctors, but the first female doctor comes out as a doll? Why don't we talk about that shit? Why don't we talk about the real shit?
Well, from the picture that you sent me, it didn't look like it had brushable
No, it's like a 10-inch doll. It's like a Barbie-sized doll. I tell you what else I've been reading, though. I've been reading this book called Rethinking Popular Culture and Media, second edition, edited by Elizabeth Marshall and Özlem Sensoy. It looks like a textbook because it's published by, I think, a university, but it's actually not a textbook because it's not written for students. It's actually a collection of articles because there's a magazine for teachers called Rethinking Education. So Rethinking Pop Culture and Media is a collection of articles that are specifically about pop culture and media. And so far I've read about half the book. And the one essay that to me has been the most interesting is this first grade and kindergarten teacher wrote this essay
about her battle with the BBC as well, and how she caved when she wanted a Chris Eccleston toy.
No.
Oh, okay.
The article is called Why We Banned Legos, Exploring Power, Ownership, and Equity in the Classroom. There's a really interesting article written by this woman who teaches kindergarten and first grade, and they had Legos, and they were like, you could build a Lego city. So these kids built what they called Lego Town. But then, like, some kids built more, and they started to feel like they own Lego Town, and they weren't let other kids build on their property. And she saw with these little kids in class with their Legos, basically, like, capitalism, like on a microcosmic level.
Yeah.
And then she was like, we're going to get rid of all the Legos, and for the next couple of weeks we're going to talk about what sharing means, and we're going to talk about what it means to have responsibility. She basically, like, tried to, with the students, create an egalitarian, fair world where everybody can build Legos. I used to tutor first graders. I've never taught on that level, but I'm interested in that. So I'm interested. I found the whole thing interesting in how she approached teaching, especially with toys.
Okay.
But the most interesting thing was that after the article initially came out, Fox News did a whole story on it about these snowflakes with their Lego, blah, blah, blah.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, she didn't even really take away the Legos. All they were reacting to was the title of the piece.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I've been reading. There's some other cool stuff in here, stuff about like Disney princesses and something else that I didn't know was happening, which is corporations are infringing on public schools because public schools always need money. So like,
Yes, they do.
what Target will do is Target, and this is something Target's been doing for the last couple of years. Target will go to your school and say, "Hey, listen, we want to give you a whole new library. We're going to give you millions of dollars. We're going to build you a new library, but it's going to have the Target on the wall. You're going to have the Target dog mascot. We're going to make sure that there are, Target official books on the shelves." And basically, they've, quote unquote, given the school a new library, but really, they have
They own
spent a little. Exactly, they've spent a little bit of money based on how much they make, and they've indoctrinated these children into loving Target. It's really a scary thing.
I mean, this is what these corporations do now when they own arenas for sporting
Oh
franchises.
yeah.
T-Mobile Arena,
Staples Center.
Staples Center, Smoothie King.
Yeah, these aren't even like nice names. You know what I mean? Like the Staples, like who? That's the Staples Center.
Well, Staples owns it.
There are countries that don't even allow advertisements during kids' programming.
No.
Meanwhile, you and I grew up in an age where basically they were creating shows like G.I. Joe and Master Universe and Transformers. So literally, the show itself was an advertisement.
They were just
all
giving
it was
us the
was
fix.
for us to buy the plastic.
They were just giving us the fix.
So, some interesting shit. That's what I've been reading lately.
That
And
sounds
I've been
cool.
playing a lot of Dr. Mario.
So you're balancing killing your brain playing video games and then nourishing your brain by reading Rethinking Popular Culture and Media Second Edition.
Well, I would like you to rethink popular culture and media and consider that playing video games isn't that bad for you.
I mean, I'm just a little bit disappointed with you.
It's a real time suck. I'll give you that.
I don't mind that you play video games, but one minute you're about to say BBC don't want no smoke with Mike Bongiorno, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I gotta get the toy.
I'm a man of wide taste.
Yeah, sure, that's what we'll call it.
I like a lot of stuff. I like
Sure.
I like toys. I like reading about education. I like playing Dr. Mario.
Whatever, Mike. Whatever.
Boy, this chill sesh got a lot less chill. Am I
Well,
right, folks?
Mike.
Somebody's cold one is giving me chills. Let's take a break.
We get the best of both worlds. The fastest reflexes modern technology has to offer, onboard computer-assisted memory, and a lifetime of on-the-street law enforcement programming. It is my great pleasure to present to you RoboCop. This guy's really good.
He's not a guy, he's a machine.
All Detroit has a cancer. Cancer is crime.
Let the woman go. You are under arrest.
You better back up, pal!
Your move, creep.
What are your prime directives?
You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney.
What is this shit?
Anything you say may be used against you.
He's a cyborg, you idiot! You recorded every word you said. You're dead! We killed you! His memory's admissible as evidence. You're gonna have to kill it. Get out of the car, for God's sake!
RoboCop, the future of law enforcement.
Welcome back to
Hi.
Pop Culture Man Children.
Hello.
I'm Mike Bongiorno. That's Emilio Sparks.
Yeah.
You can get us. I found that funnier than it was. You can get us on. We're on Apple Music. We're on Google Play. We're on Spotify, and of course, we're on Stitcher.
Yes.
Stitcher is, and I don't mean to play favorites. It's my favorite podcasting app. I listen to my podcast through Stitcher.
I'm an iTunes guy.
You're an iTunes guy.
Yeah.
That purple The purple thing?
The purple app.
I don't know, something about Stitcher. I like Stitcher. Whenever you start Stitcher, a voice goes, resuming episode. Like if you pause it,
Yeah.
it makes me feel special.
The only thing that I don't like about Apple Podcasts is if I finish one episode, it'll go directly to something else. It just doesn't stop for me. Like, I listen to one episode of Pop Culture Man Children. I don't need to listen to the
Does it give you other
subsequent.
episodes of Pop Culture Man Children,
Yeah.
or does it give you like-minded things?
No. Let's say I wanted to listen to Requiem for Roseanne Barr, and I get through that.
Yes.
Then the episode underneath that will play, and then the episode
That's
underneath
not
that.
too bad. Sometimes on Stitcher,
No, but
they'll
it
just
messes
give you
up the-
something like
But it
kind
messes
of
up the
related.
stream thing, though. If I am up to date and I listen to all of PCMC,
Yeah.
then it starts to replay them all again, which ain't a bad thing.
For us, it is. God, I don't want to hear my voice or your voice.
I try not to listen to both podcasts that I'm on. After they're done, they're done.
I could probably tell you I've not listened to one episode of Wrestle Rap,
Well, you're not a wrestling guy.
or really a rap fan, or I don't really care for the host. Now, welcome to the Obsessions. In case you're wondering, Emilio's still not wearing a shirt. I'm going to go first. So, yesterday I was working on the Upper East Side teaching at one of my schools. And the great Nick from GHU Comic Books put on GHU Comic Books Facebook, because there's two locations. There's the one in the city, and there's the one in Staten Island, which I recorded the episode chatting with Kat Kalamia in. And Nick said, hey, randomly Marv Wolfman stopped by and signed some stuff. And do you know who Marv Wolfman is?
Not a clue.
Mr. Marv Wolfman created Deathstroke and Raven and Starfire and Cyborg, 3 out of 5 of the Teen Titans.
Oh, and your pee-pee must have got excited.
And I said to Nick on Facebook what he signed, and he said he signed a bunch of Teen Titans shit. And I said, I'll be right there. And I usually don't take my car to work during the normal semester when I've got a lot of classes, but since I've got like one class a day, I had my car. So I drove there, and I picked up...
You drove the new Buongiorno mobile?
The newborn Journal-mobile. I picked up the classic storyline, The Judas Contract, signature by Marv Wolfman.
Wow.
You know, I was thinking today that a couple of weeks ago, my obsession was Teen Titans Go, and I was like, I've never watched anything Teen Titans before. And I said to you jokingly, I'll be an expert in this soon because I'm really obsessed with it. And people who listen to the podcast, you've seen that. You've seen that grow. And you've seen it also with Emilio and, like, Swamp Thing. I did go from, on this show, like, I'm beginning to watch it, and now I feel like I do know a lot about Teen Titans, enough that I, like, ran to go buy this signed edition of this comic.
And how much did this cost you?
It costs, I believe, $24.
With the autograph.
Yeah, the autograph they didn't put anything more. He just showed up. I don't think he even was supposed to, like, there was no, like, event. He just showed up and just was like, hey, I'm here. And he just signed a bunch of Teen Titans shit. Sadly, I missed him. I would have loved to have talked to him. I would have loved to ask him about the new movie coming out, whether he loves it or hates it. You looking at Starfire? Yeah, 80s Starfire was wild.
Wow.
She had, like, really, like, her hair was very, like,
80s.
frizzy and out there and crazy. But he created Deathstroke. That means in some ways he's also responsible for
Deadpool.
Because Deadpool is a parody of Deathstroke, although no one knows that anymore. Deathstroke, his real name is Slade Wilson, and Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson. The Judas Contract is a famous story in Teen Titans. They did it in the movie. They did it on the old show, and there's a new Titan that comes into the group, Terra, and then we find out a couple issues into it that she's actually a, spoiler alert, a spy working for Deathstroke. When it came out, it actually shocked people because they spread it over a year. They didn't like rush it. Like literally, they introduced a character and then they got you to love the character, and they were like, she's the new person on the team, and then they dropped like, actually, she's always been a spy, and people were shocked by it.
You mind if I open it up?
Absolutely, you can open it up. It's that old school look.
I love it. I love the paper. I love
It's
the smell.
old school look.
I
Boy,
love
they
the
look so
artwork.
different now. The Teen Titans. They're basically the same, but very different.
So Marv Wolfman's got to be eating good then, right?
I mean, Deathstroke alone, right? That was in Justice League, that is a character on Arrow. That's got to be a moneymaker for him, right? I would hope so. You never know with these guys. You know, sometimes when they're young, they make shitty deals. Sometimes they get screwed out of things by the companies. I would hope that...
Yeah, the artwork's incredible on that.
I would hope that he's doing
And I
good.
like that it's a hardcover.
Yeah. The new Teen Titans, you always see it's Dick Grayson Robin, but here it's Nightwing,
Which is Dick Grayson.
which is still Dick Grayson. It's just he's a different age. And this is Terra. It's awesome. So, that's my obsession.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I want to read it when you're done.
Absolutely. What are you obsessed with?
All right, now I don't know if it's a television show or if it's an actual...
Not a strong start. Okay.
or if it's just the network in which it's on, but there are several channels that I watch now that really have taken over my...
So your obsession is several channels.
Yes.
Is there a theme that unites them?
Yes, the Cozy TV, the Me TV, the Antenna TV,
Oh, so like the
Heroes
oldies.
and Icons,
You like the moldy oldies.
the moldy oldies.
So these are basically like kind of what Nick and Night used to be. The major corporations taking from their libraries the old, not even classics, just like old licenses that nobody gives a shit about.
Like
and
that they've held for years, that they're
Yeah.
like, all right, you know, we had these sitting.
Like Mannix, you want to watch Mannix? We got all the Mannix for you.
I've watched that. I've watched Pete Guns. I've watched 77 Sunset Strip.
Well, you're deep.
I have watched Head of the Class.
Really?
Yeah, Silver Spoons. The Jack Benny program.
Really?
I love the Jack Benny program. Uncle Milty was just on one of the episodes.
He had a huge dick. That's not everybody knows
Uncle
about him.
Milty?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he walked it like he talked it.
Yeah.
But my favorite, hands down, the Danny Thomas Show.
The Danny Thomas Show.
Yeah.
I know the name Danny Thomas, but I'm not that familiar with
Make
him.
Room for Daddy was the TV show originally, and then it turned to the Danny Thomas Show.
I've heard of Make Room for Daddy. What is it? It's like a Lever to Beaver type thing?
Oh, no, sir. Danny Thomas plays the role of Danny Williams,
Okay.
a successful comedian and entertainer at the nightclub The Copa Club, which is based on the Copacabana.
I put that together
Just
with
making
my powers of deduction.
I'm just making sure that you did.
Go on.
I guess the premise is this guy and his wife and his kids, and he's balancing his career as an entertainer in the nightclub industry when that was actually a career that you could have.
But that's also what Ricky Ricardo did.
Exactly, but it was kind of like that.
So it was a comedy?
Yeah, it was definitely a comedy. And then by season, I guess...
What year are we talking?
1953.
So like black and white?
Black and white.
Okay.
And so what happens is, I guess the wife, his first wife, decides to leave the show. She doesn't want to do the show. She's not getting paid enough money. Danny Thomas and Sheldon Leonard, who to me is like, I think, the godfather of all these television shows, Make Room for Daddy and the Dick Van Dyke Show specifically, they were faced with a dilemma. Okay, do we recast her and we just say that she's the wife?
Yeah.
Or do we do something a little bit more drastic? They went the drastic route. They killed her off.
They killed her off?
They killed her off.
How?
They never really say how she died, but now the series changes to Danny Thomas, a widower, juggling a performance career and raising his two children. The series started to decline a little bit. They were like, okay, well, we need to have him get married real quick.
Uh-huh.
But for most of the fourth season, it's Danny Thomas dating other women, nearly getting engaged, and being a widower and identifying that, you know, there are certain feelings that not even comedy
Yeah.
could help.
It's funny, back in the day, they would make you a widow or a widower. They couldn't make you divorced.
By the end of that season, I think the ratings were declining, so they were like, okay, we need to have a mother and a wife to complete that television family unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a new mother in?
You know, Danny Thomas didn't change. The sets didn't change. Nothing really changed but all right, we need to bring in another woman. He needs to fall in love ASAP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're dealing with a little bit that he is a widowed husband. You know, I guess the levity would be him trying to date again, and all these women are just flops. But they never really got into the whole grieving process.
Yeah, it can't be like Dream On. You can't get too deep into it. So then what era do you like of the ones you've watched? Mom era? No Mom era? Mom 2 era?
I guess the episodes that they're airing, it's Mom 2.
Uh-huh.
And I like Mom, too. But then after that,
Yeah,
it
go
goes
on.
into Dick Van Dyke, and then Dick Van Dyke's on for 2 episodes, so I sit and watch that every night. Both Sheldon Leonard produced
Productions.
vehicles.
Why don't you make room for this information? Urban Dictionary. Eggs, Danny Thomas style. An act similar to the Cleveland steamer. This variation on it requires the man to lay under a glass table while a woman defecates on the glass above the man's chest. This was allegedly started by Danny Thomas when, after having sex with a prostitute, he requested that she defecate on glass while he laid under it and watched. Was that an episode, the Eggs, Danny Thomas style?
You know, why would you take a wholesome show like Make Room for Daddy and then defile it with the idea of somebody taking a shit?
I'm not defiling
and
it.
him watching
It
it.
sounds like you're kink-shaming Danny Thomas.
I'm just saying, you know, I've heard that rumor before, but it wasn't with Danny Thomas. It was with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, he likes Eggs Sly style?
I don't think I can
Well,
ever
he's
watch
in all
that.
sorts of weird trouble now because, like, people are saying he sexually assaulted them, and like his stepsister said he assaulted. Like, he's having a Me Too moment. So I'm kind of on the fence with Sly these days.
I can't imagine Danny Thomas being this wholesome guy that going underneath the glass table
Yeah.
and then watching a woman defecate.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's no real sexual value in that.
it's different strokes for different
folks.
What else do you watch on the old man channels?
There's another one I really like called The Hogan Family.
Oh, the Hogan Family. Yeah.
I really love Valerie Harper, and I wish that she didn't have this monstrous ego that she thought the show revolved around her, and she
And
tried
then
to hold up
they
Brendan
killed her.
Todikoff and Miller Boyette Productions not once, but twice for money. And then they killed her off.
They
in
killed
a
her
car
in a house
accident.
fire, I believe.
No, it was a car accident.
Oh, a car accident?
The house fire was the Sandy Duncan vehicle to bring her in when they showed that all of Valerie's possessions that was stored in the attic
Yeah.
caught fire, and there was nothing left of the mother. So David, played by the precocious at the time but very handsome Jason Bateman,
Yes.
was grieving
Yeah.
that he doesn't have no things of his mother anymore. And then Sandy Duncan was like, all right, I'm here now. I will help you get through this. She plays the aunt.
A lot of these 80s shows don't really have very good representations of how to deal with emotional issues in your life.
It can
Like,
be wrapped up in 30 minutes.
My two dads was this girl's mother dies, and they're like, well, your mother fucks two guys, and we don't know who your dad is, so we're going to give you to these guys. And, like, watch the pilot of that show. Like, they pull the girl out, and she's like, it's a girl. And it's like, didn't your mom just die, kid? And then she's got to go live with, like, Paul Reiser, and it's weird. There had to be some way to tell which one was her dad.
But I'm just amazed that in 2018, almost 2019, that there is a demand for channels such as MeTV, Cozy, Antenna, Heroes and Icons that show these old programs.
We live in this postmodern world of intellectual property. You know, we talk all the time about how we reboot shit on this show. Okay, so, you know, I guess these big companies are like, look, we've got the classics that we reboot all the time, but we've got stuff. We got stuff that's just sitting there collecting dust. Somebody's got to watch it, and then they're putting it out there.
And they market it specifically to me.
Some dude who shaves his chest will be into this.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Some eggs, Danny Thomas style.
I can't believe
What
that
is it
that's
called
an actual
eggs
thing.
for? Why eggs?
Because maybe it's supposed to look like eggs cracking into a pan. when
Well,
the-
see, I thought of like the poop would look like scrambled eggs.
But what happens if, like, a sex worker had some type of meal beforehand, like it was rather spicy or just didn't agree with them,
Yeah.
and then they did the act on the table
Yeah.
and it was more liquidy?
Oh, boy. You made it way worse. Why on the chest, though? Because you're under the glass anyway. Why not just have it over your face? You know what I mean? Like, you're under the glass. You're
Because I
protected.
think you want to watch it, so it's like you probably need a little bit of room, maybe?
And is he jerking off during this?
I don't know. I don't know how you can find any type of eroticism.
We have to contact the widow Thomas and see what the situation was.
I think what we should do is pick up the phone, call Marlo,
yeah.
the daughter, and be like, yo, did your dad love to see women?
Wait, Marlo
defecate-
Thomas is his daughter? I did not know that.
Yeah, that girl.
She was also Rachel's mom on Friends.
Yes, but she's known for being that girl.
Well, by gosh, I think we did it. We did another episode. Another one under our belts.
We learned so much at the end.
Hashtag eggs dating Thomas style. Hashtag pop culture man children. Hey, if you listen to podcasts in multiple places, subscribe in multiple places. It ain't hurting nobody.
No. Follow us across the board. The Stitcher,
Yeah.
the iTunes, the Google Play, the
Spotify.
Spotify. Please, just do it. And
Share us.
listen to all of them on the different platforms. So if you've already listened to us on Stitcher and you want to go back and listen to us on Spotify, do it.
Guys, we need the numbers. We really need the numbers.
I think pretty soon we're going to have to be doing Eggs Buongiorno style. I mean, this is just to get viewers.
Which, by the way, Eggs Buongiorno, since I'm a vegan, you don't even want to know what that is. If you want to contact us and learn more about who we are and what we dream about, you can get at Emilio Sparks, on Twitter, Pop Culture Man Children on Instagram. Let's go bye-bye.
Bye-bye.